But look, we are gathered here today for a wonderful occasion. The chance to open essentially a new pool. It is a renovation technically, but a vastly renovated pool, awesome new playground, renovated park, and also in one of our historic older neighborhoods that needs investment. That is a great thing. So just a round of applause to everyone for being part of this. And so there's a lot of folks behind me who are all gonna, introduce and say different things. So I'll introduce them as they come up, but most importantly, we're also here together in person with kids. That's awesome too. Great to see smiling faces. Great to see us outside. And ironically, we wanted to try and get this open before the 4th of July, and we're doing that, so that's great. But it's like cloudy and cold. So, we'll take it. It's a long-term investment. But we did want to celebrate today with the community. We actually had a little back and forth. There were some mechanical challenges, and then there were weather questions. And look, we're just glad to officially open this. It might have should have been last week or maybe should be next week, but we're just going to go with it right as the rain starts. So with that, let me just share a couple of things and really let some others speak on this. One, investment in the International District. This is part of a broader plan that our administration has been moving, believe it or not, at light speed on, even though it's like city speed. So you've got, new streets and curbs in Trumbull neighborhood and in Elder Homestead. New International District Library. We're fixing up our Phil Chacon station. We added, of course, this facility, a tremendous investment, $1.6 million. Right across from Holy Ghost, right next to Wilson Middle School. And we also, of course, are adding 200 streetlights all over this area, including some right down that street right there. And, hopefully some jobs nearby coming with the Orion project, hopefully when it comes online later this fall. So this specific project, though, look, there's no better way to welcome back this summer than with a great community asset. And it's something that was done in cooperation with everyone, whether it was different fundings from city council, from different departments, lots of community input, and a lot of hard work from the actual Parks and Rec team that put this together. And so we'll introduce them, but I gotta say, let's just give city staff a round of applause. They get very little love. Thank you all. And the pool team at Parks and Rec, the parks team at Parks and Rec. Thank you so much. And we're going to hear a little bit from Dave Simon, the director, and Deputy Director Lisa Huval. We're going to give some highlights. But there's a new Splashpad, and that's a great one for kids who aren't old enough to swim, or if you just don't want to get in the water. This is our 5th Splashpad. We have more on the way. They're a wonderful return on investment for hot weather family fun. And so we also have a brand new playground. This park did not have a playground. And so a great facility behind me. And then improved athletic fields and a walking path. These were 2 adds to the playground behind me that we added in. We also know that, everyone should have safe access to safe and green and blue spaces. The coloring matches the mural and the pool traditional colors. So hence our Boise State colored field here. And so lastly, let me just say that, we want to have every Burqueño have a park within 10 minutes walk. And we're very close. 90% basically now have access to that. And so we'll continue to try and get that up to 100. And it is about placemaking. And so we continue to be dedicated to places that are safe. They've got to be safe, but also safe for everyone from all walks of life. And so with that, let me hand it over to Councilor Davis. He's been part of this project, also put some personal money in, and is the councilor for this area. Councilor?
Thank you all for being here, and just to make a minor correction, I didn't put any personal money, because as a city councilor, you don't make much of that. But we did invest some of, I'll make the pitch for the next election, right? It's coming up. Every 2 years, voters give money for big city projects, right? One of those has always been like the new International District Library coming later this fall on East Central. But every city councilor gets a little money to invest in their neighborhoods, and we spend those 2 years working with neighbors to figure out what to do. And this project was one of those that was led by our neighborhood leaders. I see Khadija from South San Pedro. Marion was here from Elder Homestead somewhere. There she is. Tony Johnson on our Parks Board. Our neighbors said, look, Wilson Park is something that's important. As the mayor said, just across the fence is Wilson Middle School. Holy Ghost across the street, and now the new Boz Charter School right here next door. These kids need fun places for activities, for after-school programs, for athletics during the day. And we wanted to make a park that was worthy of this neighborhood. And so as the mayor mentioned, it's for those who live in this neighborhood, we know that it can feel like sometimes the city in years past has forgotten about what happens here and then people who live here. I really want to say that over the last few years, we've reversed that trend. All the investments in Trumbull and in streetlights and in new parks and more coming, and in new jobs and in new investments like the International District Library, we're reinvesting more money in this part of town and our older neighborhoods whose infrastructure needs a little spruce up and catch up. We're doing that on a faster pace than almost anywhere else in the city. And that's because our neighbors are working together. You came to us, we worked together on a plan, we figured out what that meant, and we realized that kids need a safe place to play. And seeing where's Khadijah's grandbabies and great-grandbabies sliding down the slide this morning tells me that we did the right thing. But let's also say thanks to our federal partners. This was about neighborhood money that voters said yes to and wanted to work on local projects. It's about leadership from the mayor's office that said we want to use citywide dollars to do that. And it's also our federal delegation who makes community development block grant money, federal grants to communities and neighborhoods that the mayor's office and we at the city could leverage in order to do this. So thank those folks from Washington all the way down to the mayor's office and our partners at the school board like Barbara Peterson, our school board member, who are helping us reactivate our neighborhoods and create safe spaces again. Welcome to your new park. We're excited to have you use it.
All right, and I appreciate that mention of the bond issue coming up, because if you're interested in Filchacone Park, that's next, but we got to approve that in November, and then we'll get to work on it. Of course, early stages of planning on that one. Okay, so we're grateful to have a One Albuquerque effort on this, and that includes, ironically, not that the public cares so much, but the funding for this, a big chunk, came from some real creative financing and sharing, essentially, from a different department, Family and Community Services. And under Deputy Director Lisa Huval's leadership for housing and homelessness, she was able to connect the dots between this facility and helping families, and then freeing up $1 million or so of dollars from that community development block grant. So, Lisa Huval, where are you? Come on up.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here today. As Councilor Davis and the mayor mentioned, every year our city receives what's called Community Development Block Grant Funding, or CDBG funding. We get about $4.5 million every year, and this is a really vital resource for our community because we can use it to do cool, creative things for low and moderate income people in our community, including housing programs, public facilities, services, and economic development activities. Every 5 years, we create a consolidated plan where we establish the goals and priorities for our CDBG funds. And in this year's consolidated plan, we set a priority to create more opportunities for young people in our community. We wanted to invest in public facility projects that created more safe and fun activities for young people and their families. So soon after establishing the consolidated plan, we began meeting with Parks and Rec to identify a project that we could work on together using our CDBG funds. And Wilson Park was it. And I want to say, from our perspective at Family and Community Services, the team that works on this, Parks is a little bit outside of what we're normally doing, but we were all so excited about this project. The idea of creating something in this community for kids to do all throughout the year, but especially in the hot summer months, was really great. I want to take a moment to thank the team at Family and Community Services who works on the CDBG funds. They're standing over here. You guys can wave. You know, when we're out here, when we're out here, like in the pool or using the playground, we don't always realize that behind these projects is a very complex, very technical federal regulations. And our team does a really great job being creative and at the same time following all the rules so that we stay in good standing with HUD and this money continues to come into our community. So great job, guys. We really appreciate you. You know, as others have said, Mayor Keller and his administration have been focused on investing in historically underserved communities like the International District. And as you can see the results here today from thinking creatively, working collaboratively, and acting boldly for our families. Thank you.
Okay, now just so folks know, we do have about 4 other speakers, and we appreciate just your patience, but these projects, as Lisa mentioned, they're, you know, people always ask me like, well, why can't we do this and this? And, you know, the irony is a lot of it has to do with all sorts of regulations and federal this and that have to do with money. And it takes strong leaders at the city to really push through that. I see our finance team laughing over there. But it takes the folks really up and down, you know, the back office to make that happen, as well as the front side of the shop to get the construction done and the procurement and all of that. And the guy behind a lot of that is our Director of Parks and Rec, Dave Simon. Dave.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Family and Community Services, and your great team here who are tremendous partners with us in conceiving, getting this project going. I think I decided we needed to do this project the first week I was on the job, so it's really nice to see it come to fruition. And I don't know about you guys, but a little cool, cloudy day in the International District in Albuquerque beats the hell out of anywhere else I can think of living. So this is awesome. We're an outdoor city, and that means days like today, too. And, you know, it's not every day that we get to put $1 million into a park. So in order to do that, I also want to thank our other key partners who make it possible to bring these projects across the finish line. Our great designers in this project, MRWM, represented here today by Greg Miller and John Pope. And where John went, he's back there. There's John. Hold up your hat, John. He's a great landscape architect. And our contractor partner, EPPX, Lisa, is the project manager here. She lived here in that little box over there. Well, her box is gone, but she lived in the box for a year. So it's certainly an exciting project for us in the community. As the mayor mentioned, some of the highlights of the project, such as the new splash pad, but other elements of this extensive park renovation include the following. Shade structures and tables and amenities over on the pool side. We never had a shade structure at this pool before. Improvements to the pool pump house building. New walking paths, picnic tables and benches in the park. If you want to take about 10 or 12 laps around the park, that'll get your 10,000 steps. Improvements to the grass field that'll make it much more suitable for sports and recreation activities. We fully renovated the park's irrigation system, so we're being very we're being very conservative with our city's most precious resource, water. And we planted 67 new trees, believe it or not. And I know this is kind of a big one. There's a new community information kiosk by the pool, and Councilor Davis, a neighborhood association sign.
Yes.
That was like the first assignment I got from you was, can you put a neighborhood association sign out here? Khadijah, it is done. I want to see some neighborhood activity stuff up on there. All right? So, you know, as you can see, we still have the construction fence up around part of the park. We have a few final finishing touches to do on the park side here, and we want to make sure the grass has a chance to fully take root. But we're looking forward to opening the entire park shortly after the holiday. And we know it's going to be, again, a vital gathering place for not only the International District, but our whole community. I also kind of want to thank our great Parks team. Hold your hand up if you're a Parks team member for their awesome work on this project. and it really does take a community. And you know, Wilson is special because there are 3 schools directly adjacent to this park. As the mayor said, Wilson Middle School, Holy Ghost School, and our new charter school, the Voss Collegiate Charter School, right across the street here. And we look forward to really strengthening a continuing healthy relationship with all of these schools in this space. And we want this space to be a great space for kids from all these schools to play and learn as many days as possible. Now, another part of this project, it's a little harder to see from where we're standing, but another key part of this project was the resurfacing and refresh of the 6 tennis courts that are in between the pool and the middle school. I played a little tennis yesterday, and that's why I'm standing like this. Parks and Recreation manages these 6 courts, which support the Wilson Middle School's tennis program, as well as the community general play in these courts. And we have a little surprise that we'd like to share with you today about these courts. To help me do that, I'd like to invite to join me here at the podium T.C. Reiser, principal of Wilson Middle School. There's T.C. Many of you may know that Becky Lee was a longtime coach of the Albuquerque High School girls tennis team. She also coached middle school tennis here at Wilson, and she was a tireless advocate for youth tennis in this entire state, beloved by her family, her many friends, and her tennis colleagues. She was one of the very first tennis professionals to really invest in the city's middle school tennis program when USTA started this program up around 1996. She was one of the first people to get on board and pitch in to help create a middle school tennis program in this city. So, Becky was a pillar, a post of tennis in our community. And sadly, she passed away last summer, but her great legacy lives on through the many young tennis players who had the opportunity to learn from her. So after Becky passed, we knew what we should do. And today, through the actions of Wilson Middle School and the APS Board of Education, thank you, board member, and the city of Albuquerque, we are proud to officially rename the tennis courts the Becky Lee Memorial Tennis Courts. This is a representation. The actual sign's going to look a little bit different, and we look forward to getting that up soon. And I think it's just a wonderful way for Becky's legacy to live on and to inspire other young tennis players every day when they step on those courts. Joining us here today is Becky's husband, Judd, and their daughter, Olivia. And I'm going to invite you to say a few words if you'd like in a sec. But before we do that, I'd just like to turn it over to Principal Reiser to just talk a little bit about the importance of the project to Wilson Middle School.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is amazing for this community. We have awesome families and kids in this community that walk by this park every single day. And our Wilson students use the tennis courts and the pool on a regular basis. It's part of our every single day. And I'm just absolutely amazed at the Wilson blue color that you've used. And so we're excited to get to use the park too. We're looking at outdoor band concerts and orchestra concerts and after-school program using the park, and continuing to use our tennis team coming and using the new Becky Lee tennis courts and the pool. And I just want to say this is amazing for this community, and we're excited to have it, and just thank you to everyone that was a part of this project.
Thank you, TC. Go Wildcats!
Exactly.
All right. Now, Judd and Olivia, if you like to say something, we'd appreciate you being here.
Just thank you, everybody. Thanks to APS. Thanks to the city. as Dave said, Becky was a tireless advocate to get as many rackets in kids' hands as possible. We used to just live a couple of blocks from here, and this was one of the areas when Sue Johnston put together the mid-school program. She jumped right in and said, well, I'll coach at Wilson, and was here for 4 or 5 years. She also taught at Washington and then Albuquerque High. So again, thanks everybody. She would be really honored, and I'm proud of this, so thank you.
All right, so many special things coming together in this project, and part of this also is about the community that lives here, and we've heard some examples of that, and also Team South San Pedro over there, just shout outs, got your sign, Enrique and Reina and Donna, and I think the first message you should put is, we got our sign, like exclamation mark. Change is here, you know. So there are some folks, you know, involved in this in different ways, but we also have a Metropolitan Parks and Recreation Board that helps work with communities. And we rarely get to highlight our boards and commissions in such a cool way. And so we do have the local member here, Tony Johnson from District 6. And so Tony, thanks for serving on the board. It's thankless work, except for today. We're grateful. Come on up.
Where my young's at? Come on. Come on, Mary. I just want them up here because it ain't really about me. It's about serving this community. And it's, as we go, I think over the weekend I was asked numerous times, how do we know this park is going to be safe? Come and get involved. So I'm going to, petitioning all the schools, Mr. Rivas from Voss, Ms. Reisner, and Dr. Wine and Holy Ghost. I want all y'all to come together and let's create some activities that we want to do in this park. But somebody that haven't been recognized, but I know they're getting aggravated with me over the last couple months, was Commander Yara and Lieutenant Barraza with APD over here. And trust me, we will be working with them to create a better environment for our kids over in here and provide the safety that we need. But like I said, this is not about me. This is about this right here. This right here. To provide a safe and secure place for these people, well, I mean, these children right here, this is what we want to do, and that's what we're going to push for. Thank you, Reina, Enrique, all y'all for coming out. Khadijah, wherever she went to. And really just thank the parks management, and Lisa for completing a well-done job. Thank you.
All right, and our last speaker, too, we want to hear from the broader District 6 area as well, and we're here with the Vice President of that District 6 Association, Khadijah. Khadijah Bottom, come on up.
Come on, girl.
Well, everybody, Reina, Enrique,
Here it is.
Donna, we got it. We got it. So I'm actually the acting president of South San Pedro, so it's a little more dear to my heart, even though I'm vice president of District 6. I would truly like to thank the mayor and city councilman for all the effort that they have just put into D6 in the last few months. As they said, we're getting ready to have a bunch of new lights that Enrique fought for 10 years, you know. They got different kind of lights now, though, Enrique. But I would really be remiss if I stood here and did not say, although we have this nice park and we want to keep this park, we need you as the community and folks, the police department, to help us with the gateway. Because now that we have the park that's more family oriented, we need to focus on the ex-residents of the park, the unsheltered. And we would love it very much if you was to get involved with family and community service as we go forward, opening the gateway so that the whole community can be at peace. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just waiting till everybody leaves so I can go get back on the swing so they don't tell me that that I'm not age appropriate. Thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing some of you at our Gateway meetings. All you have to do is go on the city website and you can follow with it, because we definitely need our Gateway.
All right, thank you so much for your leadership, Khadijah. And so here's what we're going to do. First, too, I was trying to think about, when I came back to Albuquerque after growing up here, and I joined Holy Ghost Church, and seeing this playground, right, and how long it took us to do this. So my last thank you is just for all the neighborhood folks in general who didn't give up. Because I know just for me, I started working on this 16 years ago, which is ridiculous. And that's just me. It's probably 30 years for a lot of folks. So everyone who hung in there, round of applause. And with that, here's how we're going to celebrate. Everyone's invited to the equivalent of a ribbon cutting. We're going to turn on the splash pad. And for some brave souls who aren't freezing, you can run through the splash pad, so we'll kind of migrate that way. Thanks so much.
In the pool.
We got lifeguards. Good job. It's good to see you.